morning, family. Today I'm in John 20, verses 24 to 29. Now, this is the part of the story where Jesus has risen. The tomb, it is empty. And now Jesus appears to the disciples, but Thomas isn't there. So he appears to 11 out of the 12. And the disciples, after this, go to Thomas and they say to Thomas, "We have seen the Lord." And Thomas doesn't respond in a way in which we'd expect him to respond because, Thomas has been part of the Jesus story. Thomas has seen Jesus walk on water. Thomas has seen Jesus heal the deaf, heal the blind, raise the dead. Thomas has seen Jesus preach to multitudes. Thomas has seen Jesus perform miracles. Thomas has been part of the Jesus story. He's spent intimate moments with Jesus. So you'd expect Thomas to be, quite, familiar and aware with, these mysterious ways. And Thomas, when he hears that, Jesus has risen, that's when he says, "Stop the bus." And he says, "Unless I see in his hands the print of the nails and put my finger into the print of the nails and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." And as a reader, as we're following the story, it gets a bit frustrating because it's like, Thomas, bro, you've been part of the Jesus story. You've seen Jesus in action. And Jesus rising from the dead, that's where you're like, "Stop the bus." The man who rose, who told the dead to rise, that man, you're saying, "Stop the bus. Stop the bus. Unless I experience these things, stop the bus." And in my period of frustration, what I then got to realize and what I then felt is this is how we sometimes treat unbelievers. This is how we sometimes treat doubters. This is how we sometimes treat seekers. This is how we sometimes treat people who want to ask questions. And in that moment, it's like, Thomas is someone who really spent a lot of time with Jesus. And even him, he needed a bit more. And Jesus doesn't come to Thomas angry. He hasn't said, "Thomas, we spent all this time together. Thomas, you've been with me. We spent these intimate moments. Why do you have so little faith, Thomas?" This is not what Jesus says. Jesus says to him, "Peace to you. Reach your finger here and look at my hands. Reach your hand here and put it into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but be believing." And Thomas responded, "My Lord and my God." Jesus met Thomas where he wanted to be met. So why can't you meet others where they need to be met? When you go and speak about the good news, let it actually be good news that is met with love.